The history of ancient Babylon is a story of rise and fall shaped by military conquests, architectural marvels, cultural achievements, and influential laws. Founded on the Euphrates River in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, Babylon developed from a small town into one of the greatest cities of the ancient world. Here's an overview of Babylon's history, from its early days to its eventual decline. The beginnings of Babylon, around 2300 to 1894 BC. Babylon began as a small Akkadian town during the rule of the Akkadian Empire. It was likely settled around 2300 BC near present-day Baghdad, though it remained relatively insignificant in Mesopotamian history during this period. During this time, the region was under the control of various empires, including the Sumerians and Akkadians, whose culture and traditions influenced Babylon's early development. The rise of the First Babylonian dynasty from around 1894 to 1595 BC. Around 1894 BC, the Amorites, a Semitic-speaking people, established control over Babylon, marking the beginning of the First Babylonian dynasty. Babylon's most famous king, Hammurabi, who reigned from 1792 to 1750 BC, came to power during this dynasty and significantly expanded the city's influence. Under Hammurabi, Babylon grew from a small kingdom into a large empire that dominated Mesopotamia. Hammurabi's Code, one of the oldest recorded legal systems, was introduced during his reign. This code contained 282 laws covering various aspects of society, including trade, labor, property rights, family law, and crime. Hammurabi's death around 1750 BC led to instability. The First Babylonian Empire eventually fell to the Hittites around 1595 BC, who sacked Babylon and weakened its control over the region. Cassite control and cultural flourishing from around 1595 to 1155 BC. Following the Hittite sack of Babylon, the Kassites, a people from the Zagros Mountains, took control and ruled for over 400 years, marking one of the longest periods of stability in Babylonian history. The Kassite kings established Babylon as a major cultural and religious center. The worship of Marduk, the city's chief god, became more prominent, and Babylon became known as a sacred city. This period saw cultural flourishing, including advancements in literature, science, and art, and the creation of tablets in cuneiform writing. However, by around 1155 BC, Kassite control weakened, and the empire was eventually overthrown by the Elamites. The rise and fall of the Second Babylonian dynasty, from around 1155 to 626 BC. After the Kassites, Babylon went through a turbulent period with several rulers and foreign invasions. Assyrian rulers frequently controlled Babylon, which became a vassal state. During this period, the city was repeatedly captured and influenced by powerful empires, including the Neo-Assyrian Empire, from approximately 911 to 609 BC. Babylon often rebelled against Assyrian rule. For instance, the Assyrian king Sennacherib, who reigned from 705 to 681 BC, famously sacked Babylon in 689 BC and, according to historical records, even diverted the Euphrates River to flood the city. Sennacherib's destruction of Babylon was considered sacrilegious, and it led to resentment among his subjects. His successor, Esarhaddon, rebuilt Babylon to restore the city's religious importance. The Neo-Babylonian or Chaldean Empire from 626 to 539 BC. In 626 BC, Nabopolassar, a Chaldean chief, took control of Babylon and established the Neo-Babylonian Empire. This marked Babylon's most famous and prosperous period. Nabopolassar's son, Nebuchadnezzar II, who reigned from 605 to 562 BC, expanded the empire and turned Babylon into one of the most beautiful and powerful cities in the ancient world. His empire stretched from the Persian Gulf to the borders of Egypt. Nebuchadnezzar is best known for constructing the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, though their existence is debated, and the Ishtar Gate, a grand entrance adorned with blue glazed bricks and images of lions and dragons. Babylon became a center of trade, science, and culture, with advancements in mathematics, astronomy, literature, and architecture. Nebuchadnezzar also conquered Jerusalem and deported many of the Jewish inhabitants to Babylon, an event known as the Babylonian captivity in 586 BC. The fall of Babylon to the Persian Empire in 539 BC. After Nebuchadnezzar's death, Babylon went through a period of decline. His successors failed to maintain the empire's unity, and by 539 BC, Babylon was weakened. The Persian king Cyrus the Great took advantage of this instability. According to ancient records, Cyrus entered Babylon peacefully after its gates were opened to him by Babylonian officials unhappy with their king Nabonidus. Under Persian rule, Babylon continued to thrive as a cultural and administrative center. Cyrus allowed the exiled Jews to return to their homeland, ending the Babylonian captivity. Babylon under Persian, Hellenistic, and Parthian rule, from 539 BC to 224 CE. Babylon became part of the Achaemenid Empire under Persian rule, and while it retained its status as a cultural center, it lost its political independence. In 331 BC, Alexander the Great captured Babylon after defeating the Persian king Darius III. Alexander admired Babylon and planned to make it his eastern capital, even beginning construction projects. But he died in the city in 323 BC. After Alexander's death, his generals divided his empire. Babylon fell under the control of the Seleucid Empire, and as Seleucia near modern-day Baghdad rose as a new capital, Babylon's importance declined. Over time, Babylon continued to be inhabited under Parthian rule, but the once great city gradually became a shadow of its former self. The decline and abandonment of Babylon. By the 2nd century BC, Babylon had largely been abandoned, with only a small population remaining. Its temples and walls fell into disrepair. Babylon's legacy, however, lived on through its contributions to law, literature, science, and architecture. The city and its monuments became subjects of legend, influencing later civilizations across the Middle East and the West. The legacy of ancient Babylon. Babylon left a significant mark on human history, including contributions to mathematics, such as the base 60 system, astronomy, literature like the Epic of Gilgamesh, and law, with Hammurabi's Code. Babylon's influence persisted in the religious texts of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, where it was often portrayed symbolically as a place of decadence, wealth, and power. Babylon also laid the groundwork for future urban planning and architecture, with its famous walls, ziggurats, and legendary hanging gardens. Ancient Babylon remains one of history's most influential cities, shaping laws, science, and culture in ways that continue to echo for millennia. Its story is a testament to the rich and complex civilization that rose from the Mesopotamian plains. Subscribe for more short history recaps of ancient civilizations.